Hello, and thank you for joining us for another podcast at the Gospel Rescue Mission. Today, I wanted to talk about changing the discourse in public about homelessness and who they are and what's being done about them, and maybe even affect some of the conversations that we have with some of our partner agencies. Too often you hear news reports and editorial figures pointing out and pointing fingers at local communities and blaming them for things like greed in the rental markets and cruelty of law enforcement and the establishment of laws that are all unfair to the homeless. In 2016, the National Law Center on Homelessness and Poverty produced a publication titled "No Safe Place: The Criminalization of Homelessness in U.S. Cities." At one point, they state, "There's been an increase in laws criminalizing homelessness since our last report in 2011, and while the increase is seen for nearly every surveyed category of criminalization law, the most dramatic uptick has been in citywide bans on fundamental human activities. This increase in citywide bans shows the nature of criminalization has changed and that cities are moving towards prohibiting unavoidable, life-sustaining activities throughout the entire communities rather than in specific areas, effectively criminalizing a homeless person's very existence." Ooh, sounds really threatening. The article cites a nationwide increase in city bans on things like sleeping in public, camping in public, begging, loitering, food sharing. These are how it defines fundamental human life-sustaining activities, as if it's fundamentally human to camp in public or beg in public. By trying to establish city ordinances curbing these kinds of behaviors, the storytellers are drawing the conclusion that those practicing such behaviors are simply victims of an unjust and cold-hearted society. What this storyline never takes into account is how good and kind-hearted tax-paying citizens are relentlessly being victimized themselves by criminals who have consequently become homeless. Citizens that, despite having their bicycles stolen, cars broken into, businesses being defecated in front of, and children being pitched drugs to, donate their time and their money and their efforts to gospel rescue missions and all sorts of community kindness and outreach projects. The truth is that our communities aren't filled with a bunch of cruel and greedy land barons that are business owners trying to profit off of and marginalizing the downtrodden. Rather, we're a bunch of hardworking, honest folks who recognize there's a problem and are willing to put our resources into anything that can actually demonstrate something that works. The Grants Pass Gospel Rescue Mission works. It does so because we refuse to be simply another shelter. We are a program that aims for higher goals than simple food, clothing, and shelter. And then we achieve the goals while providing these simple things at the same time. In late 2016, we were able to change from a paper database to an electronic one. And the information we've been able to collect and analyze has proven both helpful and encouraging. Our residents in 2017 truly want to change. And with your support, things like 1 in 5 residents left this mission in 2017 because they found a job and a home. They're meeting goals for sobriety. They're paying down bad debt and back creditors and debt to society. They're connecting to a host of local resources. They're healing broken relationships, and they're hearing daily from the Word of God. This happens in large part because of the kindness and the generosity of the people of Grants Pass and from folks that are just like you, our listeners, who hear this podcast and decide, I'm going to support an organization like that. Sometimes we just need someone to set the story straight, a narrative that's more consistent with our reality and our experience. And so my challenge to you is when you hear these narratives, when you hear stories that that want to make you feel like you're to blame for the cruel, homeless hardships of those who are out there on the streets. Remember this story and remind yourself that you're not to blame, but you can be part of the solution when you support the Gospel Rescue Mission. We thank you for your support, and I look forward to sharing with you more of the details of what 2017 has looked like for us, and also the details to come in 2018. We've got a lot of great things happening here, and we really can't do any of it without the support of this community and the people that support the Gospel Rescue Mission. So again, we thank you. We thank our residents for putting in the hard work and the effort that it takes to stay sober, to change a life that was downtrodden at one point in time to a life that's productive and successful. So again, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart from the Gospel Rescue Mission. Thank you for listening to another podcast. We hope that if this encouraged you, that you would share it with a friend, tell a neighbor about it, tell them what's going on here at the mission. This place is good and is doing good things here in Grants Pass, and we're happy to be a part of it. So thanks again, and don't forget to check us out on the web at grantspassmission.org.